So we had to take a temporary recess to relaunch the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to hand it over to Clerk Eckenswaller just to kind of update where we are on the agenda and its brief explanation what happened.
Thank you, Chair Hutchinson. Just to recap, the meeting was called to order at 2 p.m. All members were in attendance with the exception of Member Shea. The appointment of the chair and the vice chair was conducted. Chair Hutchinson was acclaimed to the role of chair, and Deputy or Vice Chair Townsend was acclaimed to the role of vice chair. The Secretary Treasurer provided an overview of the purpose of the meeting, being that we were going to be receiving a report on 2 consent to sever applications, and there's an opportunity for the public to comment on those. There were no declarations of interest, and the minutes from the December 5th, 2023 Committee of Adjustment meeting were approved.
Okay, so thank you, Clerk Eckenswaller. And that does take us again to item 6, just for a quick recap. And that is, we're at, again, item 6 on the agenda, consent to sever application number B32, 2023, B33, 2023, -315 Arthur Street. 6.1 is the report from the planning staff. So I'm going to have Director of Infrastructure Developments, Chief Building Officer, Carl Shipwreck, aka I'm going to refer to CBO, sir. And Mr. Shipwreck, if you could please read the report for consent to sever B32, 2023 and B33, 2023.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, the report was from David Smith, our Manager of Planning Development. He sends his regrets. He's on holidays this week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, I guess. But just so I hope I can answer your questions to the best of my ability here. But the application is to sever a piece of property for 2 severances to create 3 total lots, B32 2023 and B33 2023. One is for 0.073 hectares, and the other, sorry, they're both for 0.073 hectares. It is on Arthur Street at the north end of Durham here. Planner Smith's recommendation is to defer this application until we can the applicant can provide adequate connection and engineering details, stormwater management and grading information. And I can answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, thank you, CBO Shipwreck. So that does move us into 6.2. This is the verbal comments, so it'll be verbal comments or questions, and there's 2 parts to this. First one is committee members' comments, and then once we completed that, we will go to the public comments, and we will just give you a quick briefing how the member of the public can participate. So under 6.2.1, committee members, this is your opportunity to ask any questions, make any comments you would have regarding this application. So I open up the floor. Any comments or questions? And we'll start with Member Hutchinson. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just curious. I presume our applicant will give us an idea. It states in here that the applicant will be engaging with engineers to determine and undertake a project to connect 3 lots to municipal sewer system. So look forward to maybe hearing from his side of it. The planner isn't here to fill in the details, so maybe he can update us on what's happening with the sewers and water in that area, sewers in particular. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And once we get to the public portion, we'll see if a response to that is entertained. Any other comments or questions from the committee members at this time? Member Echols, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And I guess the reference is, or the recommendation is to defer comment on this. I just, we've got it here, the deferring until we get to that, or I guess the question would be, how long would this defer be, or is there another way? Because we had a meeting, or we had a session on Thursday last week about how the municipality can help development and industry within to make things happen here. And I'm just wondering, it doesn't seem to be just quite right feeling to me. Is there a way that we can, instead of deferring this and keeping it halfway down the road, is there something that can be done to make this go along concurrently or get the process moving? Mr. Shepherd.
Yes, through you, Chair. There would be. The intent of the report was that the application would be deferred until the applicant has provided an approved servicing plan, an approved costing, and an agreement with the municipality to provide those services. And then at that time, the application will be brought back forward through the committee. It's sort of a chicken and egg sort of scenario, which one you do first. I understand with discussions to the applicant that, he wants some type of satisfaction through the municipality that the approvals will be, or the severances would be approved prior to, spending a large amount of money and cost towards the project. And I understand, that side of it as well. But from the municipality side, Mr. Smith's intention was that, we did not want to create a lot where, eventually a developer would find out that they wouldn't be able to, if they haven't undertaken those studies and they haven't undertaken those reviews, that we'd be in a situation where a lot, may be created with no possibility of development, which is something, we don't necessarily want in the municipality either. There is the possibility, if the committee so chooses, that we could move forward with the severance and just, add on some type of add-on conditions to that would satisfy probably both sides. It's probably something that we could do on that front.
And I think that's something that I'd certainly like to explore, because if we defer this, and you're the contractor, the developer wants to go ahead and do it, he does all of this, then we're back here 2 months, 3 months down the road, and we've got to go through this, and there's an appeal process, and there's, and yeah, it's pretty sunny out there right now, but if development's going to happen, there's a limited construction type season in, well, it's a lot better in West Grey than it is in Chatsworth or some other places in Grey County, but we want to keep it that way. So if we can work with this developer to keep things moving along. And I think your suggestion, that's what I was thinking. We just put terms on it that maybe it's not registered or something of that nature. Severance, that it's not registered until these conditions are met. Then it pretty much takes the time constraint from our problem. It's not our problem anymore. It's the developer's problem.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Chair. So there are two issues that sort of the committee should keep in mind. One being that, there is a 2-year time frame. So if the applicant did not meet the conditions, the severance or consent would not be approved, would not be finalized. The lot would remain the same. So that's fine. The other issue that we've had some discussions here, staff level, is that by completing these severances and zoning without the material provided in advance, the public does not have an opportunity to appeal based on those reports. Right? The public or commenting bodies are only able to appeal for 20 days after the application's been heard. But if those reports and things are not provided until 6 months from now, there's no opportunity for a commenting body or anybody to appeal at that point. It's only between the municipality and the applicant. So you're sort of removing that ability for, in this case, there's no ability for a neighbor to appeal anyway. But a commenting body would be able to appeal, like the county or indigenous groups, things like that would be able to appeal. But if they haven't seen the reports and things like that, they don't necessarily, what are they appealing or what are they not appealing, I guess is the question. So it just leaves that option. It is a discussion that we've been having at the municipality and how we would deal with those types of things. And it is something and it is one reason why we are looking at getting, along with the requirement from the province to return fees if things haven't been done at a certain time. Some municipalities, and a lot of discussion taking place here, that we are trying to look at bringing more of these, getting more information up front rather than having it done after the fact.
But in getting some of this municipal infrastructure, probably the biggest appealant or appellant would be the Conservation Authority, and they'd be in on that anyways. Engineering on, they would need to be commenting if there is any position for them to be commenting, and knowing it's at the top of a hill and whatnot, to get through with that when it comes to the permits of work there. So the other factor is we're in the middle of a urban development, so I'm not sure what anybody would be appealing. I understand what you're getting.
Yeah, in this situation, there's probably not a concern, but it is something that we are sort of taking into consideration on all our applications.
Okay, anything further, Member Eccles? Member Noon, go ahead, please.
Thank you. To my understanding, and maybe I'm out of content when I address this, but there's other homes on that street currently that are on their own septic systems that with this new development coming into play, and part of the comments from the planner was that, to defer it. But if that sewer was to be put in place, that is a benefit then to the municipality, because you would generate the funds to help, with utilities and so on and so forth. But just to bring better utilities onto that street would benefit the residents. So I think that it's great that if we can get this going, then it also benefits the other residents on the street with the sewer being brought into place. At this time, not knowing the numbers, but what the costing would be, but I mean, would that be something that would have to take place right away then if this is, going to be supported by the committee today, or how would you look at that moving forward as a staff?
Thank you, through you, Chair. So I'm not sure how far the applicant has gone through the engineering and review process. I know in this situation, these houses will be required to be pumped. There is no gravity to a sewer line there. So they will all require pumping stations either in the house or a pumping station somewhere. I'm not sure how far along they are in that design process, but it is something that, yeah, it's not just a matter of putting a pipe in the grounding and having some connections. It's all got to be pumped. So that's one thing that one reason we need to have that review and need to have the discussions with with the applicant, with their engineer, and figure out are we only going to require the new houses to connect? Are we going to put infrastructure in for all the houses on the road? There's another new house being built south, being proposed on a lot south of this location. Whether that house would be on this, connect as well. Those are all discussions that, are ongoing, and we're going to have to sort of figure out as we go.
Thank you. Any follow-up? Any other comments or questions for Member Hutchison? Go ahead.
Well, maybe this question will become clearer as we go along, but I'm just curious about the cost of putting the sewers in. Is that municipal cost, or is that a shared cost, or is the developer going to provide that? And I know when you put the sewers in like they did on Durham Road East, and the people that aren't on the sewers, are they going to be forced to hook up, Or is it going to be wait and see if they choose to, or when they change hands of property, then it automatically defaults? So there's some questions there on that I wouldn't mind answered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then we're just, we're not really here to make a decision on it as a committee. We're here to basically support it and do a recommendation, and it gets sent to the next level. So it just, as long as we're all clear on that, we can put some recommendations for it. Go ahead, clerk.
Through you, Chair, just for clarity, you are here to make a decision. This is the final decision-making body in this matter.
On this one here, but the recommendations or things we can add to it is what I'm saying. It's still an approval period once it goes, if there's other things added to it.
Through you, Chair Hutchinson, once a decision is made today, you can't add additional conditions later. So you can remove conditions later, but no conditions can be added after a decision is made. So if it's deferred, yes, it can be brought back because no conditions have been imposed. But if conditions are set today, that's the way they are unless something's removed.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying, though. We need to, if there's an extra list, we do them today, and then we're sending it to planning and when the motion goes. Start the process starts is where I'm getting at. Okay. Anyways, okay, enough of that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move over to the public portion now, under 6.2.2. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask Ms. Noble to explain to the public virtually attending how they can participate.
As noted at the opening of the meeting, public participation must be done through Zoom. Members of the public joining virtually wishing to participate in this portion of the meeting may do so in one of two ways. If you have joined via phone, press *9 to raise your hand. This will let us know you would like to speak. Alternatively, *9 can also be used to lower your hand. If you have joined virtually, you can either raise your hand by clicking either the blue or yellow hand icon located in the bottom corner of your screen, or by sending a chat message to myself, Ashley Noble, Communications Coordinator, either stating that you would like to speak or what you would like to read in the record on your behalf.
Thank you. And do you see anybody virtually that would like to participate? And if not, then what I'm going to do is going to turn over to members in public that are here in person. And I assume we have one person in attendance today that would like to discuss this matter. Mr. Trumbull, welcome. You can just take the podium or the desk. I think you know how it works, and just state your name for the record, please.
Don Trumbull. I'm proposing the severance. I have contacted the engineer. They're in the midst of engineering the stuff for you guys now on that road. So there's two ways he said we could look at this. We could do a temporary hookup into the storm or into the sewer that's it's already teed off of Durham Road and be prepared to do it later, or we could see what the engineers cost, because the guy down at the end, and with me, 3 of them, that's 4. It might be feasible to do a joint venture on that and do it all now. So they are working on it. And the only reason I wanted, it'll be about a month and a half before we get the stuff back. So we go a month and a half or 2 months, get it back, and then I come back here again for another 2 months. It just always prolongs. I get the stuff on Park Street, same thing. Like just so if you put conditions in there that the lots are severance, but no building permits are available until all conditions are met to the satisfaction of the council or to the satisfaction of the works department. So we could put 2 proposals in front. The original engineering that you guys had planned to do. And if not, then I can put my proposal, both be done by engineers, and that can be decision, we can do a joint decision on that. So I'm just trying to bring a process. It just seems to take so long to get stuff done. So this will speed things up, because I'm going to work on the engineers probably harder than you guys are to get the stuff done. So that's why just in the future, it would be nice if we could. And also we can speed stuff up. We only got about a 6-month building period, 7-month building period So every time these are delayed. So put your conditions in there. I agreed. I told David, I agreed that, you know what, no building permits. And some of the stuff he's asking for is on every, like he's asking for a grading plan. That's an automatic on every house. That's not something that I got to do regardless. So some of the stuff he's asking for is already in the process. So I think we could work together on this, and I think it could be, there's other people down there that I've heard have a problem with their septic right now that they're holding off of doing anything because they're hoping this is coming down the road. So just like Durham Road, eventually they'll have to hook into it. They can't fix their septic. So it could be a way of getting something done and not taking as much money out of West Gray taxpayers and speeding things up. So that's all I got to say. Anybody got any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Trumbull. Mike. There was few different questions. So from the committee members, is there one that you'd like to re-ask that may not have been answered here to Mr. Trumbull while he's sitting in the desk there? Member Hutchinson, go ahead.
So are you proposing, Don, that you would pay for part of the sewer construction for that street, or is that all municipal the municipality would have to do that?
No, no, definitely I would pay for I'm putting 3 houses into it, so I'm going to pay for my hookup. There's a $6,000 sewer hookup. There's a $6,000 water hookup, and whatever costs, like, you know, if it goes down the street and there's 10 houses and it's $1 million, there's, you know, I'm just using that as a number. We just divide that and I pay for my proportion, and I'd pay 3 of them, and the other people would be just like Durham Road. It's done. And once they tie in, they pay. It's like, so yeah, no, I'm not looking for nothing for free. I can do it and hook up, like they're all gonna have to be pumped regardless. I could do it and just run my separate pumps up, but if it means bringing the sewer down and making it more feasible that a year down the road or 2 years down the road, Durham wants to finish it, I would have to dig everything back up and tie into it. So it would have cost savings to me to do it, to pay more now and do it rather than do it temporarily and then redo it. So, of course, I'm looking to pay my share.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Trumbull. Other questions down here that were good?
I guess Mr. Trimble has just mentioned that there's X. Do we have any indication of how many houses could be hooked into this? And is there any concern about the size of the pipe that we need to, if there is 2 houses, does the pipe need to be 6 inches, 12 inches? If there's 22 houses, does it need to be 8? Just on that. And maybe I'm asking Carl the wrong question, or asking Carl not to make that, because we've got a council member that lives right there. Maybe he can tell us exactly who needs to be on that, or what is the potential for development there. He's busy right now, so I'll point to you, Carl.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Yeah, those exact numbers haven't been looked at, but 4 or 5 houses, 6 houses, whatever it is on that road, it's not a huge number. It's already been designed for the 2 subdivisions, the Sunvale and Bruce. So the additional houses really is not a huge volume, so it shouldn't be it. But that is something that will be reviewed by the engineer to make sure that, you know, all that infrastructure is sized adequately for all the houses on there.
And I think just further, Mr. Chair, going back to on Thursday, we had that discussion at the breakfast in Newstead of trying to get into a partnership to make these things happen and whatnot. And I think this would be an extremely satisfactory way of doing that. Working with the individual, you know, we've got everything in size, not just for his specific the application for 3, what is there, and working with this, and it sounds like a win-win situation if we could get it moving. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Comments or questions? Any follow-up, Mr. Trumbull, before I?
No, I just thank the opportunity to present my case and, as I said, move forward, create, 2 more lots there plus the one in the end. It's three more lots, development charge and building permits, residents, to the town of Durham and most of all taxes that we need. So it's kind of an easy, it's not doing a big subdivision, so it's kind of an easy process to add that to the town that it's already there. So thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Trumbull. Okay, so that completes 6.2, 6.1 report from planning, 6.2, the verbal comments. So now we're at 6.3, which is decision by the committee. And we've heard some different things. So you see the recommendation in the report. So if somebody would like to, how they would like to move this application along, please. We're looking for a mover. Member Eccles.
I would make a motion that we approve the application with conditions. Sure, just how to analyze that out, but basically getting the infrastructure going. Yeah. Jamie, have you got something?
Clerk Atkinson.
Thank you, Chair Hutchison. I think based on what Member Eccles is saying, staff have put together a list of conditions in the event that that committee did want to proceed in this manner. So what I would have then is that in consideration of staff reports B32 2023 and B33 2023 579 575 Ontario Limited consents, the Committee of Adjustment provides provisional consent subject to the following conditions. 1, servicing plan approved by the municipality of West Grey with all costs, including but not limited to engineering and peer review paid by the applicant. 2, payment of any outstanding municipal taxes if applicable. 3, payment of an entrance permit fee for each newly created lot from the municipality of West Grey. 4, receipt of an acceptable entrance permit application for each newly created lot from the municipality of West Grey. 5, payment of the $500 parkland dedication fee for each newly created lot. And 6, confirmation from the applicant that infrastructure is available and can be extended to the proposed new lots.
Thank you, Clerk Atkinson. Did that cover everything that you, what's your motion? Okay, so we do have that moved by Member Eccles. I'd be looking for a seconder, please. Okay, Member Townsend. Okay, is everyone clear around the committee with the motion that's on the floor? Would you like the recommendation or the conditions read back, or is everyone clear on that? Okay, so we're all clear on, oh, I'm sorry. Madam CEO, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to confirm in the recommendation that that committee is considering. I think there's a couple of typing mistakes because the file numbers are B32, 2023 and B33, 2023, but the recommendation, they're not the same. Did you read them correctly? So I shouldn't read reports.
Through you, Chair. Yes, there was a typo in the report number listed in the report. It should be B32 2023 and B33 2023. It is incorrectly stated. I think it says B32 203, but it should read 2023. So we will get that corrected when the agenda is republished. But for our purposes here, it's 2023, not 203.
Okay, and I think I did call them out as 2023. So, okay, good. All right, so we do have it moved and seconded. Recommendation with the conditions. Is everyone clear on that? So then we're going to call the vote on that. For all members, we just, if that are in favor, raise your hand. I see all members are in attendance are in favor, and there's none opposed. So that motion has carried. Now we'll go to Mr. Shipwreck. What will be the next steps, please?
Once the appeal period is complete, the applicant will be required to provide all documents and meet all all conditions, and then the applicant will be able to move forward with the draft plan and getting it registered.
Thank you, CBO Shipwreck. Okay, that was the item number 7. And that's next meeting. Next meeting is scheduled for March the 5th, 2024 at 2 p.m. And item number 8 is adjournment. I will declare that all business on today's agenda has been completed, and therefore we stand adjourned at, I have 2:40 p.m.